Let's talk about clarifying objectives once you're in the meeting with the customer. Now, you've already sent an agenda to them to explain what you'll be talking about. That was a great first step. But now you're actually meeting with them, you have to bear a couple of things in mind. The first is that while this might be one of the most important meetings for your day, for them, it might be one of dozens of meetings that they're in. Have you ever been in a meeting where you sat down with the customer and they said, okay, so remind me again who you are and what we're talking about? Now, sending the agenda in advance helps get rid of that problem, but you must help them decompress from the rest of their day and get in the zone with you in that meeting. So it's worthwhile sitting down with them to say, great that we're here today. You have a printed copy of the agenda that you already sent as part of the calendar invitation. Here's what we're going to be covering. And as an output of our meeting today, what it would be great for us to agree is the following objective. This is why we're meeting. This is why you're sitting in a room with me rather than doing something else. This is why it's worth your time as the customer to be here. Help them be clear on what's in it for them. But at the same time, make sure that it helps you advance the sale and move the discussion forward to the next level. It's worth asking the customer, what would a great meeting look like for you? What do you most want to get out of this time? So once they've got their head around why we're here and it's coming back to their memory as to who you are and that they've agreed to meet you for certain reasons, you could say to them something like, now, I sent the agenda in advance and asked if there are any things that you would want to include in that agenda. It might be that you're too busy to do that. Is there anything else that you would like to achieve out of the meeting given the agenda items that I'm showing you here? 1, 2, 3, 4. The customer might give you some input, or they might simply say, no, that sounds fine, let's go through with that. At that point, it might be worth you saying, well, and for me, a good outcome of this call would be the following. And it gives you a chance to explain what you would like to walk away from the call with and ask them if that's fair and reasonable. That way, there's no surprises at the end of the meeting. Now, remember this, the customer knows that you're a salesperson. They know that salespeople have a job to persuade, convince, and commit people to do things. They're expecting a commitment. They're expecting there to be some type of objective to the call. And executive buyers and middle management buyers confess to us that they get terribly disappointed when the meeting seems to be a nice conversation, but doesn't actually end with a commitment. They feel that maybe it was a waste of their time, and they start to question, is this salesperson a time waster? What about the whole company? You know, do they really know where they're going? Was this a meeting that I should have delegated to somebody else? Now, if you've ever started relationships inside a customer account and found yourself being handed down to lower level people, it might be because the customer wasn't clear on what were the objectives for the meetings that I had with that salesperson, and did it result in a commitment that meant something to both parties? If they're not clear on that, they'll start to delegate you down. And that's not necessarily what you want to see happen. So you can cure that by being clear about the agenda, but also the objective for the meeting. What's in it for them? What's in it for you? That's what you're meeting for. Let's get it done. If you can carry that spirit with you into the meeting, the customer will feel that it was a meeting worth having, worth them attending, and worth them helping you take to the next level.